1988 Cro-Mags at the Old Ritz. Never forget it. Never went to a hardcore show before. Didn't know anything what it was about. Pit opened up and I saw everybody jumping around and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run out into the pit. 3 steps in, some big guy, wham, hits me right in the eye. I'm staggering around. But then I knew this is the place I belong. And I loved it ever since then. But I did learn as a small guy, keep my head down from then after. I would say the most, probably CBGB's. Without a doubt, you gotta mention the Pyramid with their matinees. The Marquee was great. Wetlands was outstanding. CB's I probably missed the most because it was where I first kind of got an idea of the family aspect. And coming from a different mindset of metal and rock stars on stages, I was friends with the guys from Supertouch, and I remember sitting in the van with them, and then when it was time for them to play, they went on stage and played, and it changed my whole perspective about what the scene was about. Favorite slam dancer, hands down, has got to be Ratbones. I remember meeting him at City Gardens many, many years ago. Introduced us with his real name. You know, said, hey, I'm just moved here from Detroit. And we were, you know, lifting each other up, wall of death. We had the best time ever. You know, never met the guy before, and just saw him at the Black and Blue. Duct tape around his head because he busted his head open. You know, he's the greatest. And you know, there's no violence in his dancing. It's all about fun, and I think that's the way it should be. So he's the best. Yeah, I would have to say Ensign. Definitely as far as the music that I play, or I want to play, the kind of more fast, hardcore, you know, not so much of the tough guy aspect. Ensign was always the epitome of what you wanted to do. Musicianship was second to none. And they definitely never got their due. I thought they should have been a lot more popular. Definitely for me, the Hawker Record Show at CBGB's, Token Entry and Rest in Pieces. No for an Answer. I remember them telling stories about getting stuck on the at the airport. But Rest in Pieces was like my go-to band. I love them so much. And when I finally got to see them, and my friends always say, like, when they played My Rage, they were like, I never saw you go off as hard as you did during that song. And yeah, till this day, that moment in time for me was absolutely the best show I've ever been to. Influence, not so much singing aspect, but as a person and how I approach being on stage, Lou from Sick of It All, hands down. You know, first starting to go to shows, Lou and Pete always were at every show, and they'd be in the crowd, and me and my buddies would be like, Pete, Lou, and those guys always cordial, always said hi, hugged, shook hands. But as far as on stage and what the scene is about, what really, you know, means something to me is Lou always would say at every show, if you knock somebody over, bend over and help them up. And, you know, it was about unity, it was about sticking together, and, you know, that is the epitome of what it all means to me. Other than that, you know, singing-wise, Scott Vogel, you know, for the newer guy, more stage dives. You know, he's great too, I love him. I would never want to answer the New York one because right. I saw a lot of the videos. Best pizza in New Jersey? Best pizza in New Jersey is the Santoni's in Garfield, without a doubt. Since the day one, Sandy and Tony started Santoni's, and they've sold many years ago, but the recipe has lived on. I love that place. Hardcore drummers, obviously. I mean, I know everybody says Mackie, but he has to be at the top. Without a doubt. Armand, again, because Rest in Pieces. So if you could sing like that and write great songs and drum. And I'd have to go with Sammy, man. I love Sammy. You know, I was young, he was young, and seeing him playing in bands back then was just, it was amazing. And he's still great. I just saw him play with Judge. Right now, we have a song recorded called Plague, which we are shooting a video for, which you'll be a part of. Coming out on Patient Zero Records, it's going to be a 4-way split 7-inch. And after that, that should be September. And we're just playing, man, and writing songs and, you know, keep having a great time. Be happy. You know, Don't get into arguments over stupid things. Don't let everything get to you. Just try to do what you love in life and be happy. I always tell everybody, look, when it's my time to go, I'm gonna have not one single regret. You know, and this is coming from somebody who's, you know, I lost my wife. I've been through a lot of stuff. Just be happy, you know, make your film, play in your band, travel, write a book, do whatever you gotta do. Be happy and don't make any excuses about it. Just go for it, and, you know, life's too short. Hardcore is not dead. Hardcore is different. It's absolutely different from what it used to be. And, you know, even the older guys probably would, when I joined the scene, would probably say, you know, it's different from the way it was back then, but it's never going to be the same. The old guys that want to sit at home on the computer and complain that the scene sucks and the scene's dead, it's not, you're going to be your scene anymore. It's always going to change. So just keep going to the shows, keep having a good time, keep the spirit alive. It'll be different, but it's always going to be different. Everything changes. You can't ever go backwards in time. You got to keep moving forward. The Sick of It All 30th anniversary shows, you know, prove that. Black and Blue Bowls, This Is Hardcore. There's so much great stuff going on. It is absolutely not dead.